Hello and welcome back to another episode of this week's watches. And if you're new here, my name is James, and every Saturday we put new watches on the website, and I'm excited to be back in the office. For those of you that follow closely, you'll know I was out of office last week for a small procedure which went smoothly, and I am pretty much fully recovered, so glad to be back. And yes, this Saturday the 14th, the day this video goes out, there's only one more drop left for this year. That's my plan anyway. So we have this drop and then a drop next week on next Saturday, and then not a drop again until I'm back in whenever that time is. So if you would like to know shipping deadlines, all that kind of stuff, when to get your orders in, when I'm actually going to be in the office and out of the office, when you go on the website, there's a banner right at the top that says, you know, all that information. It says click here. It will take you over to an Instagram post where everything is laid out nice, clear and simple. So be sure to check that to avoid any disappointments of delivery or appointments or anything like that. So make sure you go check that out. So I promise I'll read the comments and I'll read the emails and messages I get in regards to these videos. I have listened. The way I record these videos, I rely too heavily on natural light. Now, if you live in the UK or have ever been to the UK, you'll know that's pretty much as rare as like a new old stock Paul Newman, right? It's just, it barely happens, and when it does happen, it's not consistent. So in the middle of recording, showing a watch, the light can go behind a cloud, and then the lighting changes, and then the camera has to try and adjust, and it can make visually it quite difficult to see the watch in its detail. So I'm going to be trialing something this episode, so do let me know down in the comments if it appears better. I'm using just a simple box setup that I use for the photography, but I'm going to obviously be using it for recording. So let me know if it is better. I will continue with it, and believe me, I'm always looking for new ways to improve, such as on the website there are now 3 additional photos as the standard photos, and those are 3 macro shots. I just choose what on the watch I think is interesting and worth showing closer, and you still have all the additional photos under the points of mention, which are shot in natural light. Actually, no, they're not. I don't shoot them in the natural light anymore. I shoot them in the light box again because we lose light very quickly here in the UK, and for the reasons I just explained. But they are shot with the phone, so you get an idea of all different aspects, I guess. And I do want to say, you know, I'm always open to constructive criticism, feedback and opinions. You know, I think is how this business has grown, to be honest, to where it is because you guys and girls have told me what you would like to see and what you think would work. These videos, I believe, came about from that, you know, people wanting videos, people wanting extra photos, therefore it got turned into what it is today. So do let me know, you know, either leave a comment down below and then people can obviously chime in as well, create a bit of a discussion, or if you want to keep it anonymous, email me info@Kibble I'm always looking at what the next things to do are, how to improve the business, how to give you guys and girls more, basically, and that's what I'm always striving to do. I have some long-term plans of what I hope to do in the next 3 or 4 years. But you know, they're for much further down the line and not for talking about yet, because I don't even know if they can be actioned, but we'll see. There's a little sneaky thing right there. So before we crack on with the watches on the table, 11 in this week's drop, what's on wrist? I'm wearing a watch I should wear more often. It's my beautiful Mido Multi 4. This is from about the 1940s with a very rare matte black dial, which is just aged beautifully with gilting. Francois Bourgel case. Same case maker that Patek and Movado and many other brands used. It's just a really lovely example, part of the personal collection, and will not be for sale. Has the most interesting second hand as well, as you can see. So just a really good looking watch, and one I should wear more often, and I'm going to try to. Okay, now let's crack on with what you're here to see, and we're gonna have to start with the absolute beast on the table, and it is a gorgeous and heavy 18 karat gold Piaget with a Lapis Lazuli or Lazuli dial in 18 karat gold, as I say, with a hobnail pattern throughout. It is beautiful. Let's take a closer look. So starting this week off with this absolutely incredible and beautiful Piaget. This is a Piaget 18 karat gold with a Lapis Lazuli or Lazuli. I've heard both pronunciations, so let's just call it Lapis and then everyone's happy. A really beautiful Lapis dial which is free of any cracks or blemishes. You can see it has that gorgeous natural look to it, and it's quite a attractive piece of Lapis because sometimes they don't have many sort of little gold flecks or many inclusion areas. It's just like a flat blue, whereas this has a lot going on. It's very cloudy and a really beautiful cut of stone. You have the Piaget logo in gold with the indices around the outside. Also in gold with a beautiful pair of gold sword hands right there. As you rotate the watch, you'll see a hobnail pattern throughout with marks around the bezel, creating a really nice dynamic look. And again, that hobnail pattern continues through this brick style bracelet, which just flows beautifully and effortlessly. Really, really nice. It has no adjustment, meaning it is one fold of the clasp that goes into there. So like so, it folds in, clips down, and seals like such. That's how it works. You can see it's Piaget signed, all the hallmarks and everything as you'd expect. And as you flip the watch over, you're presented with a screw down case back with lovely vertical brushing with the reference and serial number stated right there. So this is a reference 235C4, and inside beating away in this gorgeous watch is a manually wound Piaget caliber 9P2, and this watch dates to the circa 1970s. As I say, this has to be one of the best examples I've found. It is a very heavy watch, and all of the details on the length of the bracelet and any further bits can be found on the website as well. So let's show this gorgeous watch on my wrist. And here we go, on my 7-inch wrist. It is a tad snug for what I would personally wear. I would have it a bit looser, but again, that's not quite possible, unfortunately. But as we get a bit closer, you can see how dynamic the dial and case is. It just looks beautiful. So in terms of dimensions, this is 25 by 31 mil lug to lug, only 5 mil on the thickness, so incredibly thin. And you're looking at 24 mil at the widest point of the lugs, and it doesn't taper a huge amount towards the clasp. So yeah, a gorgeous watch. Go check it out on the website today. From there, going over to something completely different, to a Panerai. This is the Panerai Radiomir SLC, 3 days, 47 mil, the PAM 425, a great watch, one of my favorites. It's a big watch, you know you're wearing it, but it's absolutely gorgeous. So let's take a closer look. Now, for one of my favorite Panerais in terms of design, this is the Panerai Radiomir SLC, with the 3-day movement, the PAM 00425. You can see the little submarine there at 6 o'clock, which is very attractive, and the sandwich dial with those 2 gold sword hands full of lume. That's a lot of dial and a lot of real estate, especially considering the watch is 47 millimeters. So this one's from September 2013 with its full box and paperwork, and I had sold this watch previously, and I don't know what the gentleman did. He certainly wore the watch, which is what you should do, but my God, it was in a bit of a state. It was very heavily worn, the crystal had a lot of scratching around the top, the buckle was missing, and the strap was basically disintegrated. So I'm pleased to say we've replaced the crystal with a OEM Panerai crystal. We've had the case fully polished, a brand new Panerai strap, and brand new Panerai buckle, both of which are the one for this reference, as sold to us by Panerai themselves for a pretty penny. I can't believe how expensive just the buckle alone is. It's outrageous, but hey, screw down crown, and as we unscrew that crown, you can then wind the watch because it's manually wound. You can change the time by going all the way out as you expect, and then it has a first position where the date and things usually are, and that is to independently set the hour hand. A nice little feature like such. You want to make sure you catch the thread. There's not a huge amount of screw because it's more like a locking crown as opposed to like a full screw down crown, as you can see. So as we flip this watch over, inside is a very impressive manually wound Panerai caliber P3000, which is a 3-day manually wound movement. Huge barrel underneath this bridge right here, with a big mainspring as well. You can see that beating away. Very attractive, very nicely done. I have to say our polishers have done a fantastic job on this case. So let's show this one on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go on my 7-inch wrist. As you can see, it is no small watch. I could totally get away with it, I think, though. And at the end of the day, Panerais are supposed to be big. I just love the design of this one. So what you are looking at is 47 mil by 50.5 mil lug to lug. So incredibly short lug to lug length considering the case size. 15.5 mil on the thickness. Obviously keeping in mind a fair bit of that is in that heavily domed sapphire crystal right there. And 27 mil on the lugs. So go check this one out on the website today. From there over to something I didn't expect to make it to the drop, to be honest. So a great opportunity for anyone who's actually interested. This is a Credor Signo in platinum, and it's got like a snowflake dial. It's the GB8031, gorgeous platinum case, platinum buckle, original strap, box papers. This is a great opportunity, so let's take a closer look at this one. Now for a platinum Credor, this is the Credor Signo in platinum, 950 platinum to be precise, and this is the reference GB8031, and this is a quartz Credor with a gorgeous snowflake dial. As you can see, that textured dial just elevates this already beautiful watch to a whole nother level. And I can't believe the value of this. Yes, it's quartz, but it's platinum, it's Credor, it's pretty much the top of the top. The dimensions are just perfect on the wrist. And the price of this is mind-boggling to me. So definitely snap it up if you are interested. You have a tiny crown at 3 o'clock with a cabochon set, as you can see. It can be a little tricky to use because it is so small, but it being quartz, you won't be setting it often at all anyway. As we flip it over, you can see a snap-on case back right there with all of the relevant details, serial reference, made in Japan, platinum, etc. And inside there is a quartz Credor caliber 8J80. Now the watch comes paired on its original Credor strap, which has probably been worn like a handful of times at most. You can see, if my camera will focus, you can see there's not really any wear at all, to be honest. And this is its original, unsigned, but it is signed at the sides, platinum buckle right there. So platinum and Credor stayed on the other side, I think. Very, very cool to have. So this one's from December 2020 with its box and paperwork. A wonderful set to be able to purchase and have here in the UK, because often these are in Japan and Asian markets in general as opposed to over here in the UK. So a great opportunity, even if it's just to come and view it. Obviously, be warned, if you're watching this on the Saturday, you only have Monday to Friday next week for viewings, and then any viewings after that will be in the new year. And I don't think this one will make it. You never know, but it might make it, but I wouldn't place your bets on that. So let's show it on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go on my 7-inch wrist. As you can see, the proportions are fantastic. And right now on this strap, it's definitely probably the best dress watch you could pick up, to be honest. Perfect for sort of a suit and tie situation, but throw it on a brown or a brown suede, I think it's going to look absolutely killer. This is 33.5mm by 39.5mm lug to lug, only 6mm on the thickness and 18mm on the lug, so endless options for this one. So go check it out on the website today. Now for some really great vintage examples, we're going to start with, of the two, this 1952 Universal Geneve Monatic bumper automatic in 35mm with a reverse cyclops and a gorgeous sector dial. Yeah, this is spectacular. Let's take a closer look. Now for a definite favourite of mine in recent years from Universal Geneve, I've been fortunate enough to have sold multiple Paul rotors, including solid 18-karat gold models and all of those kind of things, but this is definitely something unusual and something you don't see often. This is a Universal Geneve Monodatic with the bumper automatic Universal Geneve caliber 138C, not something you see often. Has this gorgeous sub-seconds down there at 6 o'clock, simple Universal logo at 12, two sword hands, and then this very nice concentric circle pattern around the outside and within the sub-seconds with a separate silver pattern, flat silver, sorry, on the inside with the appliques. Beautifully done, reverse cyclops over the crystal and a roulette date wheel, so it will go from red to black. So 12 will be black, 13 will be red, and so on. You then have this very elegant stainless steel case with really nice prominent lugs that sort of curve off the case beautifully, a very attractive shaped crown, and as we flip it over, a screw down case back with the relevant reference and serial and everything stated. So this is a reference to 0010, and as I say, bumper automatic UG caliber 138C, and this is from circa 1952, and it was actually sold not too long ago by Jacques the Oyster. I've been fortunate enough to have had quite a few watches come through my hands that were sold by him recently, so I think it's still visible on their website as well. I've paired it on this watch gecko strap, which I think really suits the overall design and sort of dresses it down a little, because you could totally dress this up with a nice black strap as well, but I think this just works beautifully and elevates the design and dial. So let's show it on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go on my 7-inch wrist. I really have chose the jacket for these watches today, haven't I? So here you go, really nice proportions, fits beautifully. So this is 35mm by 43mm lug to lug, only 10.5 on the thickness and 18mm at the lugs with drilled lug holes to make strap changing nice and easy. So go check it out on the website today. Then from there over to a classic, but probably I would say actually the best example of this I've ever had. I've had many of these Longines Conquest from the 50s, but this is by far the best one. This is a Longines Conquest automatic from the 50s in 35mm. Let's take a closer look. And now for a super attractive Longines Conquest automatic 35mm from the 50s, and these always have these nice fat stainless steel cases with those very prominent lugs, and this is unpolished with those beautiful chamfers throughout the case and lugs, as you can see. And this has some of the most enamel I've actually seen on a case back of one of these myself. I know there's been models sold with it full intact and everything like that, but the ones I've actually had in hand, they've always been pretty much gone, whereas this has still got a fair bit in that fish logo. Which is very, very nice. But anyway, this is a reference 9000-1, has that gorgeous sort of, I guess, creamy eggshell colour dial, the way it's patinaed with speckling throughout, very nice in how it's aged with the obliques and the indices and everything. And the hands, it just works beautifully, paired on a very nice taupe strap, which again suits it beautifully. Original Longines sign crown. Which is very, very nice as well. And inside, behind that closed case back, is an automatic Longines caliber 19AS, and this watch is from the circa mid to late 1950s. As I say, coming in 35mm, a very, very good example. Obviously, you pay a bit more for an example like this compared to ones I've sold previously, but if you are a collector looking for the best, then you know it does come with a small price difference as well. But yeah, really wonderful example. So let's show it on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go, on my 7-inch wrist, it just fits so nicely. I love these cases. So what you're looking at is 35mm by 42.5mm lug to lug. Only 12mm on the thickness and 18mm on the lugs. So go check this watch out on the website today. Now let's switch it up completely. I mean, this is the kind of diversity that I want to achieve every single week at Kibble Watches. I mean, a platinum Credor, a Lapis, Piaget, vintage Longines, Panerai, and now a Louis Erard and Constantine Chaikin. This is the regulator Dusk to Dawn Black, a really, really cool watch, and this is unworn. So let's take a closer look at this one. Here we go. If you're looking for something spooky for Christmas, look no further. You have found it. Now, real quickly, this watch is stickered and unworn, so there's the sticker on the front. So if you see any bubbles or marks, it's the sticker. So just want to preface that. This is the Dusk to Dawn limited edition of 178 pieces with Louis Erard and Constantine Chaikin. This is the Lee regulator. So when you pull out the crown, I can demonstrate how this works. So the top subdial, which is an eye, as you can see, is the hours, and the long hand is the minutes. So as we go around, you can see it is now 6 o'clock, and the eye is pointing down at 6. It is 6:30, 7 o'clock, 7:15, 7:30, and so on. Hopefully that makes sense. And when I push in the crown and the watch starts going, you can see the mouth is spinning around like that. You've got this really elaborate pattern on the inside, the veins in the eye. It's just a very, very cool looking watch and a conversation piece for sure. It comes paired on this very nice and attractive black strap with red stitching, signed crown at 3 o'clock, which is a Constantine Chaikin signed crown. And as we flip it over, smoked exhibition case back, and inside is an automatic Sellita SW266-1, which is modified. This watch is from October 2024, and as I say, box and paperwork and unworn. Even has its original swing tag still on there. Let's rest it against my 7-inch wrist so you can see what that looks like. A very, very cool looking thing. This is 42mm by 49mm lug to lug, 12.5mm on the thickness and 22mm on the lugs. So go check out this awesome watch on the website today. From there over to a Jacques Bianchi. This is the JB200 Pole Pro Blue limited edition of, I can't remember exactly how many, but it has an octopus on the dial, so that's cool. So let's take a closer look at this one. Now, as I record this, I do have another one of these on the website, so if you want to get you and your buddy matching watches for Christmas, this is the one to get. So this is the Jacques Bianchi JB200 Pole Pro limited edition with that very, very cool blue, matte blue dial with a matte blue bezel and a distinctive octopus right there on the dial. Date over at 3 o'clock, and you can see it's a left-hander with the crown on the left-hand side, which actually makes wearing it very comfortable because there's no crown going into your wrist at all. As we flip it over, you're presented with a screw-down case back with all of the relevant information, as well as the octopus right there. Again, a nice design, that's for sure. And this one is, beaten away in size, an automatic Soprod caliber P024, and this watch is from February 2024 with its box paperwork. It comes with a nice sort of leather pouch, an additional strap, a stitch badge, and a couple of other bits as well. And it comes paired on its original blue tropic rubber strap with its original unsigned brushed clasp, which is very attractive. So let's show it on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go on my 7-inch wrist. Very comfortable turtle-like shape with that cushion case. And the bezel, I forgot to mention, is also loomed. So all of the white you see in the bezel is loomed and it will glow. So dimensions-wise, this is 42.5mm by 46mm lug to lug, 12mm on the thickness and 20mm on the lugs. So go check out this watch on the website today. Now on to a Tudor Prince Date silver dial automatic 34mm, reference 7400N on its Tudor bracelet. This is a great alternative for someone wanting like a Rolex 6694, but wants something a bit later, or a 1500 or something like that from Rolex. But you get a really cool Tudor instead. So let's take a close look at this one. And now we have a very attractive Tudor Prince Date automatic in 34mm with the smooth bezel and the Tudor 5-link brushed and polished bracelet, which is very attractive with the Tudor signed folding clasp. Now this is a slightly later Tudor, so it has luminova dial and hands, sapphire crystal, Tudor signed marketations, as you can see, with a Tudor signed screw down crown as opposed to Rolex. So this is one of the proper Tudors, as we call them, not the Rolex made Tudors, although you could argue they all kind of are. This is the reference 74000N from circa 2016. It does come with a later Tudor box, and its original bracelet, as you can see, with spare links, and it also comes with an aftermarket Oyster bracelet if you so wish to switch and swap. Now as we open up this clasp and show you the case back, you can see all signed right there with Tudor. And inside that screw down case back is the automatic ETA caliber 2824, so a workhorse movement with a date. There's not much more you can ask for, really. If you're in the market for a nice 34mm sort of everyday watch that you could wear either on the bracelet, swap it out for straps, this ticks all boxes and it fits a role. If I didn't have a Rolex 6694, I'd definitely be considering something like this. To be honest, with what I do every day and being in the office and out in town and with the kids and things, something like this is actually going to be a lot more usable than my Rolex, because obviously it's quite a fragile older watch. So something like this is actually quite practical. But let's show on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go on my 7-inch wrist. It just sort of ticks all the boxes, really. As you can see with that silver dial, very monochromatic in this current format, but throw it on a brown or a black strap, it's definitely going to elevate it as well. So this is 34mm by 40.5mm lug to lug, 10.5mm on the thickness and 19mm on the lugs. So go check out this watch on the website today. And then we have 3 Christopher Wards. I did have about 8 at one point coming to the website. Now I think I've got 4 total. So yeah, pretty crazy. They all sold out pretty quick. This is the Christopher Ward 12 titanium 40mm Aurora green. Very, very cool. Let's take a closer look. Now for a Christopher Ward 12, this is the titanium 40mm with the Aurora green dial. I won't bore you with the reference. As always, Christopher Ward have unnecessarily long reference numbers, but hey ho, it is what it is. And this is a chronometer rated model, so inside is the automatic Sellita SW300-1 chronometer, COSC certified. Screw down crown at 3 o'clock, very nice titanium case and bracelet, which is integrated with very attractive chamfers, which makes it a step up from the likes of the PRX and things like that. And then you have that gorgeous textured dial, which is just hard to ignore. It pops with the Aurora green and that outer ring of black where it fades in. Very, very nicely done. Nice indices, everything like that. It's just beautifully executed. Push button clasp, which reveals it like so. Exhibition caseback showcasing the movement and their custom rotor. And, you know, this watch has obviously been a humongous success for Christopher Ward, along with the Bel Canto and others. And when I see this watch, it sort of amazes me how they're able to achieve what they're achieving at the prices they are achieving them in the brand new world, right? Direct to consumer. So when they become pre-owned like this, it's just insane. Like, it's so hard to beat value of Christopher Ward. So if you haven't experienced one, now's the time. Get one in time for Christmas and enjoy it. And if you have, why not add more to your collection? So let's show it on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go on my 7-inch wrist. I forgot to say this is from January 2024 with its box and paperwork, spare links, etc. So this is 40mm by 44mm lug to lug, 9mm on the thickness, and 24mm at the widest point of the lugs, tapering down to the clasp. So go check this one out on the website today. And then on to another great Christopher Ward. This is the C63 Sealander Lucerne Blue Limited Edition in 36mm. You'll recall we just sold a 39mm recently, so now the 36mm, and my wife actually has the purple dial version of this exact watch and wears it to death. It's probably the most worn Christopher Ward out there. I challenge anyone to beat it. So let's take a closer look at this one. Now for the Christopher Ward C63 Sealander, this is a limited edition of 200 pieces total in Lucerne Blue with that very attractive dial. As you can see, date over at 3 o'clock, classic Christopher Ward layout, and really nice case and profile with the light catcher case that just catches the light, as the name suggests. It comes on its Christopher Ward bracelet, which has this very solid and robust clasp, which has a glide adjust, so you can adjust on the fly like so. Exhibition caseback showcasing a automatic Sellita SW200-1 with a customized rotor and quick release on that bracelet as well, as you can see. It's just a very solid watch that you can wear and do pretty much anything in, screw down crown. And it's why my wife has absolutely destroyed hers. As I said in the intro to this, my wife has the purple version. I think they released 3 colours total in the initial batch of 36 and 39. And my wife has the purple, loves it. And this is the 36mm blue, Lucerne Blue. So a great opportunity to pick this up at a very good price as well for a sold out model. So let's show it on wrist and talk dimensions. Here we go on my 7-inch wrist, and again I forgot to say this is August 2022 with its box and paperwork ready to go. So you're looking at 36mm by 42.5mm lug to lug, 11mm on the thickness and 20mm on the lugs. So endless options for this one. So go check it out on the website today. And then onto a classic with a 2019 Christopher Ward C65 Trident Vintage Mark II in 38mm. This has to be, in my opinion, one of the watches that put Christopher Ward really on the map. I know they had many great releases before this and things that were doing well, but this is what I personally remember all collectors going crazy for, and I could not keep them in stock. They just did so well and still do very, very well today. So let's take a closer look at this one. And now for the C65 Trident Vintage Mark II with that gorgeous matte black dial, faux lume, Christopher Ward written at 9 o'clock with the logo at 12 and the date over at 3 with a colour match date wheel, which I know a lot of people appreciate that Christopher Ward tend to do. You have a very nice case profile, surprisingly thin, and it comes on its Christopher Ward bracelet, which has a very solid push button and a quick adjust on the bracelet as well. No exhibition case back on this one. Instead, you can see the Trident proudly stated right there. And inside is an automatic Sellita SW200-1. And this watch is from circa 2019 with its box and booklet. It doesn't have its original signed warranty card anymore, unfortunately, but it comes with everything else. And this is not a screw down crown, so just worth mentioning. Still, obviously, Christopher Ward signed. A very solid and attractive watch if you're after something that you can wear every single day, not have to worry about switch and swap on from bracelet to straps. It sort of ticks all the boxes. So let's show it on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go, comfortably on my 7-inch wrist. This watch really stands out from the crowd as a very comfortable everyday watch at 38mm by 43.5mm lug to lug, only 11.5mm on the thickness, and again 20mm on the lugs. So go check out this awesome watch on the website today. So there you have it, guys and girls. This week's drop, 11 incredible watches. As always, let me know down in the comments what is your favorite. I mean, for me, it's going to be the Piaget. I think it's just absolutely incredible, and probably the best example out there of that reference. And then it has to be the Platinum Credor. Clearly, I like precious metals. I mean, who doesn't? But then you can't go wrong with Christopher. You can't go wrong with any watch on this table. That's why I chose them. So I look forward to seeing you all again next Saturday for the final drop of the year. Some more incredible watches, including another beautiful stone dial Piaget and a couple of other epic watches, and some stuff that may or may not make it to the website in time. We'll have to wait and see. So yeah, very excited. And if I don't see you next week for whatever reason, this is the final one you're tuned into. I hope you have a wonderful Christmas if you celebrate, and I hope you have a fantastic new year. I'm very excited for what 2025 brings. And just as a recap, 2024 has surpassed 2023, which surpassed 2022, and I'm talking in terms of sales and expectations. So I feel incredibly fortunate, thanks to you watching this, whether you've bought, sold to me, whether you just tune into the videos, whether you sort of hide in the dark where I never know you're actually there, whatever it might be, you have contributed to making what was once young James's dream in his bedroom in Leicester of running his own business and playing around watches all day into a very serious and real reality, doing, you know, a substantial amount each year in sales, numbers I couldn't have even dreamt of back then. So yeah, I'm truly, truly honoured and privileged to be able to do this for a living, and it's honestly thanks to you all, which is why, as I said earlier in the video, I really want to hear from you guys and girls. You know, if you have suggestions and things you think would work, you know, I often have people sat in the office across from me giving me their feedback and suggestions, and it really does mean a lot. That whether I am able to implement them all, and obviously there's a lot of really good suggestions that just can't be implemented due to tax reasons or complications, whatever it might be. But I'm always interested to hear, and I am forever grateful. So thank you all very much, and I look forward to seeing you again next week. All right, take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.